The dark days of World War II were at an end. The country celebrated. Britain could at last look forward to a brighter future. In 1946, Hull-based entrepreneur Walter Allen recognized the changing mood of a nation and the huge business potential for temporary holiday accommodation. Within 6 months, Walter's company, located in Willerby, to the west of Hull, had built almost 800 caravans, the UK's first ever mass-produced caravans.
Hi, I'm Stuart Morris. I'm cycling to every large town near me in order of ascending distance and rating them, with the end goal of reaching Flamborough. This is your review.
At 7:30 AM on the 9th of December, I began my cycle. The days were now so short I couldn't afford to waste a second of daylight.
By entering East Riding, we are going from a Tier 2 place to a Tier 3 place, so pubs are going to be shut from now on. I still have a plan to see a lot of Willerby though. Now these tier systems are the COVID tier systems, Willerby of course being a Tier 4 town in the only tier system which matters, which is mine, by the way. Interestingly enough, York is Tier 2 in both systems, so you're welcome, Boris. Proud of myself today. I managed to get from York all the way to Market Waiting without stopping once for directions. Although I could do with the fog clearing up a bit, but from where I am now it's just a quick 17 miles, skirt round Beverley towards Willerby. Oh Willerby, they're spoiling me with this cycle path.
I passed the Skidby Mill landmark and then cycled down a hill where a man blew a whistle at me.
Sorry, I thought you were calling me.
Turns out his whistleblowing had nothing to do with me, and after our brief, awkward exchange, I made my final approach to the centre of Willerby. Willerby is a small village in the East Riding of Yorkshire County, not to be confused with a village of the same name in North Yorkshire. In 1844, our Willerby only consisted of 214 people living in 45 houses, but today there are slightly more.
There's a mobile phone tower here. That's noteworthy.
Willerby has been developed right up to the boundaries of neighbouring villages like Kirkella, making for a seamless transition between the two regions.
By the 1950s, Willerby Caravans was moving forward fast. The company identified a gap in the market for larger static caravans, designed to be lived in. This heralded the launch of the Willerby 22, the first true holiday home.
First impressions of Willerby, it's small, very small. We're talking Easingwold small. In fact, I think this could be the smallest town I've ever been to. There's a central roundabout with a few shops around it, but there's just houses around that, which is surprising for a Tier 4 town. But there are two halves to Willerby, and I'm currently walking towards the second half, which is about 15 minutes on foot towards the motorway, the A road. this point, some of you may be wondering why I walked 15 minutes out of Willerby to show you a fish and chip shop. Well, that's mainly because Willerby doesn't really have that much of a web presence. If you were to go to YouTube and look up Willerby, you're not going to see a singing hillbilly. You're not going to see children scrambling. You're going to see caravans, Willerby Caravans. Willerby the town is losing out to Willerby Caravans. Well, there is one video that I found from Willerby, and that video is a drone shot of this chippy on this roundabout. Now, why this video exists, who took it, why it's on YouTube, I have no idea. But until this video is released, that is the #1 reference point to Willerby on YouTube. So I'm breaking new ground here.
I was so curious as to why the drone footage of this chip shop existed, I tried to reach out to the author, Quentin, but over 2 months later I'm yet to receive a reply. Also, YouTube claims his video has 0 comments, but I can still see mine. Does this mean he's deleted my comment? Maybe Willerby doesn't want to be in the spotlight. There'll be 130 houses here. That's almost 3 times as many as Willerby had in 1844.
But perhaps the most important milestone along the Willerby journey came in 1989, when the company relocated to Heddon Road in Hull.
Wait. You're telling me that the most impressive thing about Willerby isn't even in Willerby? I've seen enough. It's review time.
Willerby is a small town on a busy road that leads into Hull. And for a tier 4 town, it's absolutely tiny. Now what you have to remember is that the rating system that I have wasn't really built with towns like Willerby in mind. It's mostly supposed to be an indicator of how good a place would be to go for a day out, but Willerby was never going to be a day out destination. It does feel like I'm cutting this review quite short, because I've only been here for just over an hour, but I'm doing that with 2 factors in mind. Number 1, I think I've run out of things to look at here. And number 2, well, it's less than 2 weeks until the shortest night, and I want to get back before it gets too dark. And I think I've seen enough to give it a rating. Its only saving grace is the clock in the middle of the roundabout. And so with everything in mind, I'm going to give Willerby a yo out of Yorkshire.
There we have it. We've now finished half of the episodes. I like to think of this show as being split into 4 seasons. If the first quarter saw me learning how to cycle on roads and record reviews, this quarter taught me how to actually cycle long distances, and how it can go wrong. We've watched the public, gate crash baptisms, and done a surprising amount of singing, and yet there has been no shortage of incredible sights. With each town we visit, we uncover even more dazzling parts of this wonderful area. I for one cannot wait for what comes next, as we edge ever closer to our final destination.
So I'm really glad we've hit this milestone now, the halfway point. It feels like I've really achieved something now. You know, it makes all the sort of aches and pains that I go through to make the episodes worth it. Might even be worth some of the other stuff that happens. You know, I thought that if I put my own outros onto the end of videos, like I did in 21, 22 and 23, that would stop him from adding his outros. But as you saw in the Wakefield episode, that wasn't the case. He added his own outro after my outro. You can tell when it switches over because my outro was filmed at night and his was filmed at day, a few days later. I just don't know what to do about it anymore. It's so surreal. I think I'm just going crazy. I haven't seen my housemates in months, it feels like. I've just been in the house alone. When I'm not alone, the Yorkshireman's there. It's
It's a lot to take in. Oh, Rotherham! Goddamn Rotherham! Wait. Let me see that image again. That's not the same image as I found when I did Doncaster. The routes have changed since I recorded episode 21. That's crazy. It's almost as if whenever I write a list, Yorkshire is shifting itself, changing, so that my list is invalid. Oh, that's ridiculous. That's insane, right? Fine, if that's what it takes, then I'll do it. Yorkshire View is over!